Hi everyone. So many of the women that come to my classes here at OmBody have a workout routine of some sort where they're exercising on purpose on a regular basis. And many of you also have a strenuous workout regimen, and that is wonderful, especially as we age. We're looking more towards, if we look at the work of Dr. Stacy Sims, who's an exercise physiologist who specializes in women's fitness and women's bodies as we age. And she says, especially as we age, we are seeking to develop strength and power as to help us in our longevity and well-being, more so than endurance. And so women, based on our sex differences, and that our chromosomes and that are built and naturally wired for endurance. And so you probably, if you are in a female body, have noticed that you can go forever and ever, right? You can work out at a steady pace for a long time. You can hike. You can go all day at work, etc. Where we tend to need more training is in the strength and power and kind of high intensity area of working out. And so that is what many of the women that come to yoga class are doing as a complement, as a regular workout regimen. And so where does yoga fit into that? If we're doing this high intensity, and ideally a shorter period of time, 30 minutes or less of high intensity, and or our heavy lifting sessions. What is a complement to that as far as yoga is concerned? Well, we need to look at the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic side of the nervous system, right? And so we've probably learned this or heard this before, that we have these two branches, relatively, of the nervous system. One being that sympathetic drive where that's our fight or flight, where we're working, we're active during the daylight hours, we're doing all of our things, and then on the other hand, the parasympathetic drive or nervous system side helps us to rest and digest. So after a meal, we're able to digest and assimilate the nutrients from our food. At night, we're able to hopefully come down a bit and sleep. And we need both, right? We need that ability to rev up when needed, but also to turn down when needed. And in our modern world, the dial tends to be turned up towards the sympathetic nervous system. And so we notice in women, I'm sure men as well, but I'm speaking to women, especially, that we tend to have this wired and tired kind of feeling. Do you feel that way sometimes, where you're going, pushing, and you're exhausted, and yet, you can't seem to relax, all right? Or you can't seem to get to sleep or stay to sleep through the night. And that gets more so amplified, more so as we age. And so the sympathetic drive tends to be more prominent as we get older. And so we need to train ourselves, all right, to be able to handle those, powerful moments, being active when we need to, driving when we need to. But more so, we need to train that parasympathetic, that rest and digest part of the nervous system. So we come back down from those moments of high drive. And so, sure, do your intense workouts. Maybe decrease the volume, right? Decrease the length, but keep the intensity, so that we can train ourselves to deal with that sympathetic drive, that cortisol, that adrenaline. And yet I would encourage us, especially as we age well and strongly, to prioritize training that parasympathetic drive as well, and teaching the body how to come back to rest. And in yoga, in the philosophy of yoga, we know that our natural state is harmony and balance. The body knows how to do this. That's why we have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems, right? Because the body knows, it's intelligent and wise. And yet we've overemphasized one over the other, right? And so we need to teach ourselves and remember what it's like to allow our body to rest, to allow our body to recover. Because if we're pushing, 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 I've experienced it too, injury, exhaustion, hormonal imbalance, immunity issues, with getting sick more often, that feeling of wired but tired, anxious feelings, anger, those negative feelings that we don't want to promulgate. And so, again, use the yoga practices to inform you in how to train and to remember that parasympathetic drive, that rest and digest and recover and rejuvenate. So what could that look like in practice, right? So after your workout, that we all love doing, take time and make sure to take time. Ideally, 10 minutes, but if you've only got 5, then start with 5. But take that 5 to 10 minutes of bringing down the movement, all right? Starting to slow down the movement. After you've cooled down from your workout, take that 5 to 10 minutes to simply sit or lay down if the heart rate has come back to normal, and use your breathing practices. And so a couple of breathing practices that are simple and easy to implement. You've done them before if you've been in my classes. One, that continuous breath. So as you're seated or laying down, you're letting the breath come to a natural pace, and then you're starting to let go of pauses in the breath. So you may think of a circle, right? So you're breathing, inhaling to the top of the circle. There's no pause. You're exhaling to the bottom of the circle. No pause, inhaling and exhaling. And you keep that circular motion, letting the breath come and go, but releasing the pauses. And that starts to tag in the parasympathetic drive of rest and digest and rejuvenate, right? Another breath practice you may use is lengthening the exhale a bit beyond the inhale. So maybe a 4 count inhale and a 5 or 6 count exhale. 4 count inhale, maybe over time you work up to an 8 count exhale. Again, continuous breathing, but you're extending that exhale, which we know starts to cue the body to come down, to start to have a calming response in the nervous system, which then translates into the muscle tissue, into the mind. All right, so we rebuild that muscle tissue, that strength. We rebuild the nervous system. We let the mind start to rest. So right after a workout, there may be a simple breath practice that you do. Maybe on your off days, all right, because we're not working out every day, hard, because we need that rejuvenation, right? So if a rest day, a total rest day, a play day is just not in your wheelhouse, taking a yoga practice that allows you to move, but is dialed down on the intensity. So we're not looking at power yoga. It has its place, all right? We're not looking at hot yoga. We're looking at a way to rejuvenate, rest, let the body remember what it's like, all right, to relax and release tension, all right? So taking a flow and a yin class, for example, taking a restorative class, or if you're not coming to the studio, go online and find a yin or a restorative class or a gentle flow class, something that just allows you to be and to move, but allows the nervous system to to come back to balance and kind of drive down that sympathetic nervous system response a bit, all right? Because we need to pay more attention to that as we get older, if we want to age well and do all of our wonderful work in the world. We need to focus and remember that we've got a parasympathetic part of our nervous system, and sometimes that needs some remembering and some training to bring that back. So right after a workout, taking some breath practices, and or on a rest day or a recovery day, when you still want to move, doing something for mobility in the joints, doing a flow and a yin, doing a restorative class. And then as far as your daily lifestyle and routine goes, yoga informs us about that as well, right? And so taking time to sit down for your meals, take a moment beforehand to offer a moment of gratitude or prayer if you have a faith tradition. And just that simple 30-second act can start to cue, again, the nervous system to come back from that go, 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 push, 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 and say, oh no, we're fine, we're good, I can relax a bit. So taking time with your meals, a little gratitude beforehand, taking your meals in a calm, quiet environment with people that you enjoy or in solitude. Simple things like this. Having a morning routine that allows you to transition into the day with ease and with some centeredness. Again, it could be a simple breath practice, a simple 3 items of gratitude in the morning. It could be time with your coffee or tea. It doesn't have to be long or heroic, but these little bits consistently throughout our days and our weeks start to bring us back to balance. And then in the evening, we may have a way that we come down. We let go of screens an hour before we go to bed. We're letting go of overstimulation in any way. We're eating early enough to where our digestion is calmed and cooled down for the evening. We're taking, again, some time for gratitude or a breath practice or some stretching before we go to bed. All of these little things, just these little drops of practices throughout our days can help to remind the body, remind the mind that we can release tension, we're supported, we can rest, we can rejuvenate. So to sum up, enjoy your intense workouts, right? As it works for you, and know that we do want to focus on the balance of the opposite, right? Allowing ourselves to rest, allowing ourselves to rejuvenate, so that we can come back to activity and those things that we enjoy, whether it be working out or going on a hike or being active with our family. We can come back into that state with a little more balance because we've allowed the body and the mind to rejuvenate and to recover well, right? So I look forward to seeing you in a practice so that we can continue to find balance together and we can send that out into our world. Namaste.